Winter is a strange time for the motorcycle rider, especially if you're like me, up in the Pennsylvania area, middle part of the United States, where we experience 4 seasons. At this time of year, the day after Christmas, one day we could have 55-degree temperatures, much like today, and the very next day it could be down into the 20s with high wind and just lots of unpleasantness. We experience snow, we experience ice, and for a variety of reasons, riding in the winter just either isn't fun, isn't practical, or isn't safe. And in most cases, it's usually a blend of those three. That means that this time of year usually becomes a quiet time of reflection where we look back on last year's riding season and we look forward to next season's riding, and we try to evaluate, pick things that we enjoyed from last season, try to do them again next season. Look at things we were disappointed in last season, try to fix them next season. And that's where I am right now. We're in a bit of a lull where the weather is changing. Rides are becoming few and far between lack of daylight and wild weather patterns. And I'm just looking at how I want my 2022 riding season to shape up. And in this video, we're going to take a look at some of my thoughts from the 2021 season and look at some of my goals for 2022. Hey there, Walt here from WaltInPA, and today we're going to take a look at my 2022 riding goals, things that I want to change to make next year even better than last year. But before we can talk about what I want to do in the future, let's talk about some of the goals that I set in the past. Now, in January of 2021, I set 3 goals for myself that didn't seem quite lofty at the time, but wound up being a bit more challenging than I expected. The first of which was I wanted to do some sort of track training. I didn't want to go out there and be some kind of track badass. That wasn't my objective. I wanted to get into a controlled environment and see just where my boundaries were so that I could work on it in the future. I wanted to take some sort of intermediate or advanced riding skills class just to improve my skill set. I'm the type of person that enjoys learning and enjoys just kind of developing myself and becoming better at various things. And I saw taking some sort of rider education course or rider skills course as a golden opportunity to advance a hobby that I genuinely enjoy. Now, unfortunately, on both counts, I failed miserably. The track thing never happened for a variety of reasons, but the biggest of which was there were a number of requirements that I wasn't aware of. And when I became aware of them, my drive just kind of fell. It was still something that I was interested in, but I wasn't interested in pushing and making gear changes and spending money on top of money on top of money just to experience a track day. At some point in the future, we'll revisit it, but going forward in 2022, it's really not high on my priority list. I am a bit bummed out about not being able to take some sort of rider training. Now, there was some availability. COVID has created a variety of issues for a variety of programs in the state, and riding courses were definitely hit again this year. They were completely shut down in 2020. They didn't get back up to full speed in 2021. Hopefully things kind of level out and there are hopefully more opportunities in 2022 for classes and registration. Now, the third and final goal that I set for myself in 2021 was that I wanted to get out and meet other motovloggers, not just other motovloggers, but other riders in general. I wanted to, expand my circle of friends to include some people that shared a fondness for the hobby. I've got friends in other hobbies, but really when it comes to motorcycles, most of the time I'm out there by myself because I just didn't know anyone that got out and rode. Now that has changed dramatically, and I have the motovlog to thank for that and this YouTube channel. I've gotten the opportunity to meet a number of people and go out on a number of group rides, and I've had an absolute blast. In fact, getting out and riding with other people last year pretty much makes up my entire highlight reel of 2021. And it all starts with a guy named Goofy B, which, interestingly enough, one day I get a random message from Goofy saying that he wanted to get together and do a little riding. We're not really far from one another. So I make plans, I make arrangements. I tell my wife, oh, I'm going to meet this guy on the internet to go for a ride. His name's Goofy Bastard. I don't know his real name, and it's probably going to be really awkward if he turns out to be a murderer and you need to call the cops and tell them that your husband, I don't know, went to meet some guy on the internet named Goofy Bastard, and he was never seen from again. But it turns out that Goofy B is a really nice guy. He was a lot of fun, and we had a great conversation, lots of fun riding. And in fact, getting together with him and getting a chance to get to know him a little bit was how the Road Apple ride came to be. We started talking, kicking ideas around about doing this group ride with other local riders, and it blossomed into a small group ride that was loads of fun. So for that, we got together at Valley Forge National Park. It's a very historically significant place here in Pennsylvania. It's a big monument there, lots of space, and a group of us got together there, and the objective was to ride from Valley Forge out to the Shady Maple Smorgasbord in Lancaster County. And the Lancaster area is known for the Amish community. So it was named the Road Apple Ride because we were sure to see horse and buggies along the way and be dodging road apples. As it turns out, I think we may have seen one horse and buggy, and it was parked in a parking lot on the way there. So the name was not fitting at all. But that group ride was awesome. I got a chance to meet Goofy. At that point in time, Steve 660 was riding, or just starting to ride. I think that may have actually been his very first weekend with the bike, was that group ride. Trekkie Moto was there. Misplaced Motovlogger was there. Phil was there. Pat was there. I feel like I may be missing a person or two, but it wound up being an absolute blast. We stopped at a couple of covered bridges along the way. It was my first experience both riding in and leading a group ride, which was kind of a little nerve-wracking, but lots and lots of fun. After the Road Apple ride, Pat put together the Bucks County Bridge ride, and that covered, I think, 9 covered bridges in Bucks County, which wound up being an awesome ride, all in all. It covered lots of backcountry roads. We got to see lots of historical covered bridges. The Van Sant Airport was amazing. Seeing all the bikes there, seeing the airplanes taking off and landing and the gliders, just all the camaraderie. Awesome, awesome ride. Very, very memorable. And, that's one of those things that I'll remember for a very long time. It's actually the first time that I got a chance to meet Moto Mengi as well, who joined us on that ride. Then after that, there was a very, very spur-of-the-moment ride that Steve 660 and I went on with Trekkie Moto, where I was asked if I wanted to go, but there really wasn't sure on the timing, so I went out for a ride by myself, and then by the time I got home, I texted Steve and I said, hey, are we still up for a ride? And he said, yeah, I'm actually on my way out the door right now to meet up with Trekkie Moto. So I texted back, give me about 10 minutes so that I can put my gear back on. I'll be right there. We got together. It was supposed to be a 30-minute ride down to, where do we go? Morgantown. And Steve's looking at his directions. He says, it has us taking Route 100. Route 100 is no fun. Do you know of any other ways? I said, yeah, sure. We can go down through French Creek State Park. It'd be a great time. We'll pick up 23 and then over to 10. Yeah, we'll be fine. Well, our 30-minute ride turned into an hour ride. Fortunately, Trekkie Moto was really gracious about us being very late. But we walked around. We had a great time at the Classic Auto Mall. Oddly enough, you didn't get to see any of that because I was having so much fun on that group ride that I never thought to turn the cameras on. And it's just kind of funny that I look back on it that way, but I had so much fun that I totally forgot to turn on the cameras. I did walk around and take some video while I was there, but the ride to and from, there's no video evidence of that whatsoever. It was just lots of fun in the Cenas, chattering back and forth, lots of laughs, lots of fun. Then as the riding season began to wind down, a little further toward the end of summer, Martin Moto hosted their Modern Classic show. which basically means that they take a couple of classic bikes, modern classics from the 80s and 90s. They put them on display inside the dealership, and then they invite everyone out. And the parking lot becomes a bike show of sorts. There were at least 100 bikes there when we arrived. All makes, models, styles, just everything. And it wound up being a really, really cool event. We got together with, I got together with Steve 660, Trekimoto. We were supposed to meet Pat there, but it didn't quite work out. We wound up missing each other. After about, I want to say an hour and a half of just kind of hanging out at the dealership, we decided to do a little riding in the area. And as I was getting on my bike, I have someone come over to me and introduce themselves. And as it turns out, it was Moto John and Philly Two Wheels, which was really cool to meet those two guys. And the ride afterwards, which was Steve 660, me, and Trekimoto, wound up being rather interesting. There was a little bit of a mishap with a wide turn, and another one with a close call with a mailbox. It was a textbook lesson on ride your own ride. Fun, but a learning experience as well. Now, in between all of those rides, I've been really fortunate to have a friend that's gotten into motorcycles as well. Steve 660, you've heard his name mentioned a handful of times here. He's a regular in the WaltInPA Discord, and we've done lots and lots of riding together. And our Cenas get a really good workout where we really put that Bluetooth communicator, that mesh communicator through its paces. And it's been loads and loads of fun. This video wasn't supposed to be the highlight reel of 2021, but it seems like it's almost turning into that. But these are the things that when I think back on them, they put a smile on my face. They make me happy. They get me excited for the potential of next season. And in 2022, I want to do more of the things that I really enjoyed doing last year. I want to get out and I want to meet even more riders. I want to go on more group rides. I want to do more destination rides. I want to see more things, experience more historical places in Pennsylvania, because there is no shortage of them in this area. Now, to expand on that a little bit, over the past 2 years, my motovlog, or my channel, has been more or less followed one path. I've either done motovlogs where I'm aimlessly talking to a camera, or I've done some destination rides where I'm riding out to covered bridges, I'm riding out to historical sites. And I've pretty much stayed in that lane. Now, there's also the Wednesday discussions, or the weekly motorcycles discussions, but they're more or less a micro motovlog. Now, next year, I still want to do both of those things, but I want to lean more on the destination ride aspect. Last year, I feel like I did a lot of riding. I put a few thousand miles on my bike. I had a great time doing it. I spent hours and hours and hours just out experiencing the outdoors on my motorcycle, and I genuinely enjoyed it. But my one regret is I don't have a lot to show for it. I did a lot of riding on random back roads in my area, and looking back, I can't say, oh wow, I got to see this great thing and this other thing, and I discovered this other new place. It's just been a lot of riding on a lot of the same roads over and over again. Next year, I want to make more of a plan to go visit places, make a specific plan to visit a specific place and go experience that place. There are lots of historical places in the area, and I'd really like to educate myself on what's around. I don't have to go far to find a historical place or a historical site in Pennsylvania. They're everywhere, and I'd really like to take advantage of that. And that's it. Those are my goals for the 2022 riding season. What I need for you is to head down into the comment section and tell me what your goals are. What are you looking forward to for the 2022 riding season? Do you have any disappointments from 2021? Were you planning on doing something and you just didn't get around to it, or your plans fell apart? What about 2021 do you want to carry over to 2022? And what about 2021 do you want to leave back in 2021? Head down to the comment section and share your thoughts. So that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the WaltInPA channel. If you'd like to support me, the best way to do that is by giving this video a big old thumbs up, dropping a comment in the comment section down below, and sharing this video with your friends. As always, ride safe, and I will catch you in the next one.